Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Matt. I am your host, Matt Taylor. Today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate bombs or hot cocoa bombs. These are so fun to make, really easy to do, simple ingredients. If I can do it, you can do it. Before I move on, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. Let's get started. Down below in the description box, you'll find the list of the ingredients and their amounts. I have about a cup of chocolate, and I am using chocolate candy melts, but you can use normal chocolate. If you do use normal chocolate, like your favorite chocolate bar or chocolate chips, you will have to temper the chocolate if you want to set these out at room temperature. Or if you don't mind just storing these in the fridge, then you can just not worry about tempering the chocolate. So pretty much any chocolate will work. I like to use the candy melts. They don't taste quite as good as, like your favorite chocolate chip or chocolate bar, but it works well and you don't need to temper the candy melts. All right, so about a cup of candy melts. I have several tablespoons of hot cocoa mix, and this is just the instant cocoa mix. And I will be only using about a tablespoon per cocoa bomb. And then I have some marshmallows. You gotta have marshmallows inside. That's what makes it really fun. And then I also have some white candy melts that I have in this little pastry bag, this little piping bag that I'm gonna use to drizzle on the top. It's totally optional. And you don't need a piping bag. You can use a little sandwich bag too if you like. So pretty neat. All right, so first we need to melt the chocolate, and we can just melt the chocolate in the microwave using bursts of like 20-25 seconds and then stirring, 25 seconds and stirring. Or certainly you can do this on the stovetop with the double boiler method. Just place a pot with water, a small pot with water, about an inch deep of water, set the heat to medium, and then place this right on top of the pot. And then the steam is gonna go up and hit the bottom of the pot and gently melt the chocolate. Just make sure the water is not touching the bottom of your bowl. And then you can use a metal bowl or like a Pyrex bowl. All right, so let's melt the chocolate. Again, I'm just gonna do this in the microwave. All right, once we have the chocolate melted, now it's time to use our mold. You do need some sort of a half ball mold, and I just picked these ones up, these silicone ones on Amazon. It came 4 in a pack and it was pretty cheap. And so you can't really do this without having a mold. And so there we go, we have that little mold. And what I want to do is fill up the mold and kind of paint around the sides. If you watched my cake sickle video, I do something similar in that video where you kind of paint up the sides of the mold. And I'm gonna drop a link down below in the description where you can pick up this mold if you like. And so we'll just take a scoop, about a tablespoon or so of the chocolate, and we'll just put it in each of these cavities. You may need more, you may need less. And now we need to get all the sides done, so you can kind of just tilt it like this and turn it around if you want. Or come in with the back of your spoon and just paint up the sides. All right, and now you'll notice if the chocolate is pretty runny, it's gonna accumulate on the bottom of the mold. And so when both halves are put together, that becomes kind of a thicker part, the top, and usually that's where your hot milk is going to be poured onto it. And if it's really thick, then it won't, like, the chocolate won't, or the hot milk won't pour through it as easy, and it doesn't look as nice. So what we need to do is, when we can just let this sit for a few minutes at room temperature and then come back in and brush that accumulated chocolate up the sides to help. Or we can flip this mold upside down on parchment paper So it might take you a couple tries to kind of get it to work perfectly how you want. But even if it does accumulate a little bit more on the bottom, it'll still work. So it just depends on your chocolate if you'll need to do this or not. But I wanted to show the method just in case you want to try it, is we'll take this and we'll just flip it over like that. I'm gonna just put this in the fridge for about 10 minutes and then come back and we will paint on another layer just so it's a little bit thicker. Otherwise, if it's too brittle, it's just gonna fall apart on you before you can fill it up. And now I'm going to flip these over and you can see that there's some little flat spots here, and that's totally fine if you do this method. You don't have to flip it over. That just sometimes helps. And I'm gonna come in here and I wanna paint some more. Take a spoonful and go up the sides more to make the sides a little thicker. And since it's already cold from being in the fridge, I won't need to flip it over again because as I'm painting up the sides, it's kind of cooling it down. Another method that is done commonly is you would just fill it up completely. Like if you were using a lot of chocolate, you just fill up all the cavities completely, and then you would scrape the excess off back into the bowl and then flip it over and let it just pour back into the bowl. That saves time instead of painting it like this. If you were going to do a lot of them, like for like a wedding shower or something like that, or wedding reception, then I would recommend that method. You'll just have to use a lot more chocolate and melt a lot more chocolate at once. And 1 cup of chocolate is really too much, but I always like to have more than less. And so I'm gonna make 3 right here, but I have enough chocolate to make probably double this amount. And I'm just gonna let this chill again. I'm not gonna flip it over this time. I'm just gonna let it chill in the fridge for another 10 minutes, and then we will finish these off. Once the chocolate half balls have set, then time to gently take them out of the mold. And usually with the silicone mold, you can just pull on the sides a little bit and then push up on the bottom. And then it's gonna have a nice little half ball for you. And you can touch it with your clean hands, but a lot of times it'll leave fingerprints in the chocolate, especially if your hands are warm. So if you don't want fingerprints on it, then you can use just little gloves like this. Again, so just push up on the bottom, nice shiny half ball of chocolate. And now, take a tablespoon and dip into the hot cocoa mix and just fill up one of these cavities with about a tablespoon. It doesn't have to be exact. So we have 3 bottoms and 3 tops. And now we'll take some of these marshmallows and we'll put some marshmallows in there. Don't put too many in there because then the top won't fit very well. So I usually do about 5 or 6 marshmallows per one. Okay, and now here's the weird part. It might seem weird to you. I have this skillet here that I put on the oven or on the burner and just turn the burner on to medium heat just for about 45 seconds, just so the skillet could heat up a little bit. It's not super hot, but it's gonna be warm enough to melt the chocolate. And then what you'll do is you'll take the other top, you'll flip it over, you'll just put it on there for a couple seconds, and that's gonna melt the rim of the chocolate. And then you can take it off and you'll put it right on top. And you'll line it up, and that's gonna create glue for the ball, and that finishes the ball. And don't worry if there's some little gaps right there between each half, because we will fill that in. We will cover that up. So put that down, and you'll be able to see a little ring of melted chocolate forming around your half ball. So awesome. And this would be a fun activity to do with the kids. If it's cold outside and you're stuck inside and want to make some hot cocoa, a fun way to make hot cocoa, try this out. Okay, I can put the pan aside. I don't need that anymore. I'll bring these back over. And now to finish these off, I put some of the melted candy melts or the melted chocolate in this little piping bag. And like I said, you don't have to use a piping bag. You can just use a sandwich bag with the corner snipped off. And then to fill up these gaps, you want to take the ball, and we're just going to pipe some on there. And it would really help if you had like a little turntable that you can just turn with this on there. See if I can do it this way so you can see it better. Okay, and then you can smooth it out with like a little brush, or you can come in here with your finger using the plastic finger and just smooth it out this way. Again, I probably shouldn't be touching it. And you can just go around it like that, if you like. And that is pretty much all you need to do. I'm gonna do the rest of these. Oh, right, and then to finish these off, I have the white candy melts in a piping bag, and I'm going to just come in here and do a little drizzle on there. Very common look to do this, but it is not necessary. Definitely very optional to do this. And what's cool about doing these designs is it kind of takes the eye away from the seam, which might not look as nice. So there we go, really awesome, neat cocoa bombs. And then what we can do, clean hands or gloves, is I'm going to come over here and just put them right in there, and that is a great way to present them. And then you just if you put a drizzle on top, you're gonna need to let that set, and then they're ready to go. All right, the moment of truth, the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm gonna take one of these hot cocoa bombs and put it in my mug, and then take some really hot milk. I just heated this up in the microwave for about a minute 30 seconds, minute 45 seconds. You can certainly do it on the stovetop. This is 1 cup of milk, 8 ounces, and just pour it on there. And then it'll open up and reveal what's inside. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And you'll just stir and stir and stir. And it's gonna melt the remaining chocolate. I'm gonna give it a taste. Oh yeah. So yummy. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, put them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to drink some more of this. Oh yeah. Ah. So good.